Hello, Bass Fishing Galaxy. I was on another planet myself right there. Welcome Wednesday night. It is time for the glorified outdoor extravaganza that we call Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm your host, Pat Renwick, and I don't know about where you are today, World Wide Web, but here, the winds of Thor, they blow so cold. I can feel the coldness of the winter.
Yeah.
Through my Stray Cast hoodie.
They're blowing white.
It's crazy. There's a big storm brewing. So what we thought we would do for you, Bass people, tonight is bring you a couple Sultans of the Sunshine State. Live tonight, we are pretty stoked to have, for the first time ever on this show, Green off his win at the first stop of the FLW Tour on Lake Okeechobee. Tim Frederick joins us first off the bat. Yeah, Tim. It's coming live. Coming at us live. And then, I guess technically this is the second time that this dude's been on the show because
absolutely
we had technically and also philosophically and metaphysically
and literally
second time he's been on the show. Brandon McMillan from Clewiston, Florida. He joins us live right after Tim Frederick. He's coming on the show. He was with
Bass
us.
Ninja.
Yeah, he is a Bass Ninja. He was on the show with us when we were live from the Forest Wood Cup.
That's true.
That is correct.
That's true.
He came on and gave us some insights on Florida fishing, and we're looking forward to learning more from him today.
He was on the show with us at dinner, too.
At dinner. Yeah, we did a dinner show.
Dinner show.
Yeah, it was kind of like one of those old-time Sammy Davis Jr. things, but way different.
Yeah, no cameras.
Whatever that means. And, hey, also, I want to remind you out there, if you are watching on the Facebook, please share the live video. And what that will do is will enable you for a chance to win a $50 prize pack. It's a Stray Cast fun pack.
Yes.
Courtesy of PH Custom Lures. You're getting yourself a $50 Stray Cast prize pack of some custom hand-carved balsa lures. So all you have to do is basically like the post and share the live feed onto your very own Facebook page, and we will do a drawing at the end of the show for the winner. That is right. Exactly. That is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. This guy sitting over to my right with the Alpha Angler custom rod hat on.
Custom rod hat.
Custom rod hat. This guy's Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. Yeah. He drums. He drums, too. He bass fishes, and he drums.
A little off rhythm sometimes.
Yeah, but you're good. You're a damn good drummer.
I'm okay.
You're a better bass fisherman, though. Well, I don't know.
I'll accept
It might
that.
be a toss-up. Brian, the Elites kickoff tomorrow.
Yeah.
In
Lots of
Alabama.
work getting done tomorrow.
In Alabama. What do you think, man? Who's your pick?
My pit, well, I have 5 of them.
Well, give me one. Give me your
Give you
top
one?
dog. Who's the top dog to win the first event of the Elite Series?
My top dog is going to be Out Defoe.
At Defoe.
Yes.
Okay, you're going at Defoe.
He likes the cold, you know.
I got a
and
funny
it's chilly.
I got a funny feeling
Comes around.
about Aaron Martins.
Well, who
I
doesn't?
got a funny feeling that Aaron's gonna win. I don't know why. And
That's kind of a long shot there. I don't know.
you know who does know who's gonna win? Our very own JP High. He's right over here. You see, JP's the hip hop fisherman. He's the OG hip hop fisherman. He's running the social media. Make sure you hit him up with all your questions tonight on the social media for Tim Frederick and Brandon McMillan and JP High. If you have any questions for JP, just say hi, JP High.
Hi.
That's all you do. Spelled H-E High. Sometimes Y.
It's not he high.
Hey, you know who is the most amazing producer ever to be in this room right here? Bar none, hands down, the number one producer in this room right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Ginger Ninja right over there, Andrew Ellenberger. Hello. That's him
Hey,
right
he gave
there.
himself a song.
That's him right there. That was Mo, Larry, and Curly.
Showing himself
Introducing him right there. Ta-da. Hey, why don't you take the opportunity to share the live feed, like the live feed, share it onto your Facebook page. Opportunity, again, if you're just tuning in, if you do that, you have the chance to win a $50 PH Custom Lure Stray Cast Fun Pack at the end of the show, chosen randomly by JP High, the hip hop fisherman. So
That is literally the easiest way that you could win hand-carved balsa baits.
$50 worth. The baits are like
There's no
$25
easier
a
way
piece.
right now.
It's amazing. Hey, put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. When we get back, it's Tim Fredericks right here. Step up your game. It has been said that professionals are only as good as the tools they work with, and Alpha Angler has developed the ultimate set of tools for you, the competitive angler. Alpha Angler custom rods, brought to fruition by the passion of master craftsman Jake Boomer and 2017 B.A.S.S. Angler of the Year, Brandon McMillan. Alpha Angler rods are custom made in the USA. Designed and engineered to be perfect, Alpha Angler utilizes a very unconventional approach to making the very best bass rods, from drop shotting to flipping. Alpha Angler's focus is on building perfectly balanced tournament-grade bass rods at an affordable price. Join the Alphalution today and purchase direct at alphaangler.com. Step up your game. alphaangler.com. PH Custom Lures by Phil Hunt are quickly becoming the most sought-after custom balsa baits in the industry, from the Little Hunter to the Squeaky P. These baits are pure quality, handcrafted, hand-carved, and hand-painted. But most importantly, they flat-out catch fish. PH Custom Lures has a bait for any situation in a magnitude of colors. Check out the Old School, Straighter, and PH Custom series at phcustomlures.com. That's phcustomlures.com.
The swim jig technique is one of the most successful ways to put fish in the boat. Time in and time out, Brovani Baits swim jigs are just the right tool for the job. Beaming with quality, the Brovani swim jigs come in a myriad of colors, feature the best premium hooks and solid trailer keepers to give you, the serious bass angler, the confidence you need to accomplish your goal of putting more fish in the boat. So go to BrovaniBaits.com and start climbing the ladder to swim jig success.
Taming the beast isn't easy, but the bigger your electronics, the more you have on the line. In conditions like this, you need the KVD Kong Extreme Electronics Mount. The only electronics mount designed and built to be rock solid, no movement, no matter how heavy your gear. A marine-grade mount for fresh or salt water that's monstrously strong. The KVD Kong Extreme Electronics Mount.
Welcome back to Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm your host, Pat Renwick, and now the time has come for the first time ever on this glorified outdoor extravaganza version of a bass fishing talk show. We bring to you FLW Tour Champion Tim Frederick. Yes! Woo! That's how you win. Right there. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Tim, how does it feel to be introduced as an FLW Tour Champion? That's kind of a big deal.
Oh, it's a huge deal. It really hadn't sank in too good yet, to be honest with you. But I think I like the ring of it. The ring sounds good.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, it really is sincerely a big deal. Congratulations. Outstanding. Outstanding. Is your did you ever watch Seinfeld back in the day?
Oh yeah, I still watch it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Did you ever see George Costanza's wallet, where he gets the back problems from sitting on his wallet? Are you experiencing
Yeah,
that right now?
one.
No, I'm not experiencing that yet, but it's hard to fold up that big old Gilmore check and put it in my wallet because that's what I like to carry around.
You got to put it in the other pocket. It'll balance you out.
Yeah, it balances you out. Or it's like in that semi-pro movie with Will Ferrell. It's you win a check that says $150,000, but it really is. That's what you won, right? Was it 150 or 100?
It was 100.
100. Okay. Well, I gave you an extra
100,000.
50 bonus for coming on this show. That's kind of how we do it here. Yeah, that's no problem at all, man.
Throw 50 on there on us. Yeah.
Hey, so let's usually when we have somebody on the show for the first time, we do a little kind of get to know you deal. So can you give us a little Tim Frederick history lesson, please?
Well, sure. Man, I've been bass fishing since I was probably 8 years old. Fished local events for forever, what seems like forever. And then when I was 26, I really wanted to do this, but I had a little boy, so before I could actually go pro, I had to wait for him to graduate high school and kind of get out on his own, doing his own thing. So that was 3 years ago. He's now 21, and the first year I tried to qualify for the tour on the Costa Series, I made it. So
Nice.
in the county, and they gave me a good sponsorship deal where they're gonna support me and keep me in the tour. And man, the rest is history. I was kind of an old rookie, so to speak, but man, my drive and passion for the sport is still there, and I'm gaining knowledge every day. So look forward to a great year.
Yeah, I mean, and what a way to kick it off. I mean, for real.
Yeah, considering my first ever FLW Tour event was at Okeechobee 3 years ago, and I came in dead last. So then our next visit there, I win. That's quite a bookend for me. I don't know how you can improve on that. I'm pretty blessed, to say the least.
One
Worst
extreme.
to first.
Yes, one extreme
awesome.
to the other, man. You let's talk about that Derby a little bit. I know.
All right.
I mean, Florida fish are finicky fish, flat out. But you being from the Sunshine State, you kind of got a little handle on those Florida bass, which, by the way, are an entire different entity than we deal with. And I know firsthand. I lived down there for about 10 years and experienced the finickiness of the Florida bass. But you kind of had a feeling about that, didn't you? You found a little something special in practice.
Yes, sir. That's correct. I mean, I had a super practice right before the FLW Costa Series, which was 2 weeks prior. And, I mean, I had 118 bites in there in a day and a half, that I shook off. And then we had a major cold front before the Costa, and it kind of muddied the water up, and it just wasn't good. So prior to this event, I practiced in there all 3 days. The first day I had 0 bites. The second day I had 3, but then the third day I shook off 40 bites.
That's hard to do.
I knew that. Yeah, it is hard to do. Well, I caught a couple of them just to see, what was in there, the females or the males. But when I realized it was the males, I knew that if I was patient and the sun came out and warmed the water up a little bit, that I would get a few big bites throughout the day.
They were coming.
Yeah,
they were coming.
You found that pretty cool deal, and it was like I heard you describing it as kind of maybe a couple football fields wide or 200-300 yards, something like that, and it sounds like it had every bit of habitat that a Florida bass could ask for in there.
It really did. I mean, it had some little flat dollar pads. It had buggy whips or pencil reeds, whatever you want to call them. It actually had a few mats in there, and usually you can find them under the mats when it's a cold front. But we were on a warming trend, and every day got a little warmer. The only problem we had really was the wind, and it was blowing. It was hard to fish, but with power poles, you can power pole down and fish one set of the reeds at a time, which is what I had to do. I mean, it was all target fishing. I didn't waste cast just throwing out in the middle, kind of random. I had targets to throw at, and I knew that if I hit enough targets in a day that I felt like I would be rewarded.
I heard that you cycled those power poles over 300 times during the Derby. That's outstanding.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's no exaggeration. I mean, my camera guys will verify that. I mean, it was constant. You pull up to a patch, it might only have 5 reeds in it. Well, it's probably going to take me 5 or 10 minutes to fish them the way I was fishing them because, I was fishing them really slow. And what I'm doing is I'm feeling, and when I feel the bed, I'll saturate it and soak it as long as I have to, and then move on to the next one. So in the video, you'll see me looking around. All I'm doing is looking where I'm going next. I'll fish one patch here, and then I'll go to the next one. And man, like I said, I had a lot of targets. I probably hit every reed in there at least 10 times throughout the week. I'll about guarantee that.
Intimate with that area
You're
right
just
there.
aerating the flat with those poles.
No
That's
doubt.
right. I was there.
What were you throwing in practice? What was the bait that you were shaking them off with, or were you cutting the hook off of something? What were you doing?
Well, I caught like the first 3. I'm, no kidding. I caught the first 3, and then I cut the hook, and I had a hitchhiker on there, and I was throwing a 7-inch Strike King Ocho, and then a 5-inch Strike King shimmy stick.
Gotcha.
The bigger fish seemed to like the Ocho. I don't know if it's because it's a bigger profile or what the case was, but they really liked it. And I almost ran out of them. I was in a bad way there for a little while.
Because they kept pulling them off the hitchhiker is what they were doing, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, they got a few of them, that's for sure.
So when you were shaking them off or getting bitten, and obviously there's no hook on there, are you able to tell, you personally, the size of a fish by how it hits?
I wouldn't say how it hits, but I can tell how they're running off, and I put pressure on them. If they're holding on to it and they're kind of bulldogging me, I guess there's really no way to tell for sure, other than seeing the fish. But I feel like I can tell the difference between a little male and, let's say, a 5 or 6 pounder.
Sure.
I felt like that I don't think I got but one good female bite in there that final day of practice, and I felt like it was a good one. And I went back to it in the tournament, and I caught her, and she was 7 pounds. So I feel
nice.
Like, they just kept moving.
Where are you Skyping us from right now? It looks like you're on an alien mothership right now with those lights.
Yeah. Actually, I'm on the lake's right behind me, and I'm on a porch out here, just kind of hanging out. It's
nice.
Inside, I didn't have as good a signal. I can fix the light though if you can't see.
No, it's great. I love the ambiance. It's phenomenal. In fact, I might order an appetizer before we're done here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I just ordered. See if they come in here in a little while.
What lake is behind you?
Lake Harris, Big Harris.
Oh, nice.
In Leesburg, Florida.
Do you kind of feel like going out there and throwing a black buzzbait with a toad on the back of it right now instead of doing this talk show?
It wouldn't be a bad idea. But I'm in off limits right now. I'm not allowed to be on the water.
That is true.
All I can do is look.
Looking dream right there.
Hey, you talked about that straight tail worm you're throwing, that Ocho and the shimmy stick. What is that? What is?
You hear that?
What are these sound effects?
That's the alien spaceship.
Is that reindeer?
Yeah, that was the alien spaceship.
But no, what is this? What is this with that straight tail worm in Florida? Why is that so effective down there on a Texas rig?
Man, I wish I knew, because it really doesn't do anything. I mean, it just one thing about it, when you pitch it in there, it falls a different way each time, and I don't know if it's a reaction, but the way I'm fishing it, it's not a reaction bite, because I'm kind of dragging it, and it's like maybe they just feel like it's just something big, making like a little, I don't know, a cloud on the bottom as I'm dragging it, and I don't know, but they can't stand it. That's all I can tell you. They really like them.
It just seems weird because we fish it up here a lot, weightless. We throw them when you wacky rig them. Everybody wacky rigs them up here. But, I mean,
right.
It seems like Florida, everybody's got like a 3/16 or a quarter and sticking that thing to the bottom. But I tried it here a lot, and it doesn't seem as effective. I just don't get that because it's not doing anything.
They're Florida bass.
Reaction.
They're different creatures.
Let's see. I don't know if I want to meet them.
Well, and I think that enables in as far as Florida fishing with this is how I interpret it and how I've experienced it there myself with the slip sinker on there. It allows you to fish quote unquote Florida slow, where it's keeping it in that one spot. More so than a weightless type Senko like we fish them around here in the north.
Right.
Does that make any sense?
Well, yeah, it does. And you look at a trick worm, it's basically just a skinnier version of the Senko style baits. But man, if you had $1 for every fish caught on one of those, then you go to the bigger body of the Ocho or any of those type of stick baits. I feel like you just get bigger bites on them. The male bass and a lot of the smaller bass, they won't leave those just like trick worms and stuff alone. The finesse type worms, but you put that bigger body that Ocho, the 7-inch has got a really big profile. It's long, it's thick. So and it's got a lot of movement in it. Maybe it's man, I don't know. I'm bed fishing. They're not gonna want anything in their bed, to be quite honest with you. But what it does do, it comes through the cover really nice versus a creature bait. It's got a fast fall and it slides right through the reed heads where a creature bait may hang up. You know how the hook will sometimes poke out of a creature bait.
Sure. Right.
So that's why I fish it, because I can fish it more weedless and more effective. I can fish it slow. I can fish it and methodically. I can put it where I want to, and it's going to fall right where it's supposed to.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So how were you rigging that exactly? What were the components of that?
Well, I was using a 3/16 ounce tungsten, and I was using a 5/0 Mustad grip pin offset hook, and then I would run it all the way through the Senko and just kind of skin hook it back so it would come through the cover really nice. And with those offset hooks, for me, it took me a while to get used to them because I've always been just a straight shank round bend guy. I felt like my hookup percentage was a lot better, but the whole problem with it was my hook set is how I was setting the hook. With a Carolina rig, you got more of a sweep set hook.
Sure.
Or hook set. That's the same way you want to do it with that offset hook, and it took me forever to figure that out. I missed a lot of fish because of that, but I don't miss too many with it now. It's more like a Carolina rig sweep hook set, and you'll catch every one of them.
That's the tip of the week right there.
Yeah.
That is the tip of the week right there. But when you're flipping, you're still are punching, you're still using the straight shank, right?
That's correct.
Okay, gotcha. So that's the deal with
Sweep
the
set.
offset, the sweep set,
That's why I'm losing them.
the good old sweep set. So you also caught some key fish on that pure poison, didn't you?
Yeah, on day number 2, when I had my big bag, I don't know what it was, but there was some, there's different types of reeds, as you know, in Florida. We got the round pencil reeds, which is what I was primarily fishing, but then you got regular cattails, which I call reeds, but one patch of cattails there by itself and nothing else around it. And it was too kind of silty on the bottom to throw my Senko. I was getting silt all over my hook, so I took that pure poison out there and I let it hit the bottom, and then I'd flutter it one time and kill it. And buddy, I did it 3 times in the right spot in the net because I'd flutter it up, and on the fall they would wreck it.
Jack.
So I caught 3 really nice ones, 2, 7, and 6, I think, on that thing. And that really saved me on day 2, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Nice. What were you throwing behind that? What was the trailer on that?
It was a Strike King black with blue flake structure bug.
The structure bug. So were you rigging it sideways or flat?
Flat.
Flat. Gotcha.
Yep, them tails just stick back there. Yep.
Okay. A lot of guys are rigging it sideways. Like Mark Rose, he loves doing that. But you're
Yeah, and that may be good, but I was doing it for, just a big profile. And I really wanted it to fall slow once I fluttered it. I guess sideways, it's more streamlined. It's going to sink a little faster. The way I was doing it, I could wind it slower and flutter it, and it'll slower fall. So it worked out good for me. I've done it both ways, but I like that flat when I want to keep it in the strike zone for a long period of time.
Gotcha. Makes perfect sense. You found some fresh hydrilla in there, and fresh hydrilla is to a bass is I don't know. It's like a banana split. It's something really good. Why is fresh hydrilla so important to bass? Why?
In my personal opinion, I just think it's the oxygen content when you got fresh hydrilla growing probably only 4 or 5 inches tall off the bottom. I feel like the oxygen level there is better than it is around, because everywhere else is kind of stagnant. But when you got that growing, you know it's growing, so it needs oxygen, and you got good sunlight. And usually when you find that fresh hydrilla, the water's pretty clean. And I feel like that all the bait fish, they're going to hide in it. They're going to stay in that hydrilla to keep from being ambushed. But when it's only 4 or 5 inches tall, them bass love it because they can ambush anything in that. I mean, they're no dummies. That's where the food's at. That's where they're going to be.
Do you feel that holds true throughout the country?
I do. Let me say this. I feel like it's true definitely from, say, Kentucky South. I haven't experienced it a whole lot except, say, the Potomac River, and it held true there, too. It seemed like, you could have hydrilla that was 2 or 3 feet tall, and you'd catch a fish or two in it, but if you got lucky and found good hard bottom with, like, 4 or 5 inch tall hydrilla, you were going to catch multiple fish out of it.
Nice. What I found remarkable that you were able to do, besides win this derby, which is a remarkable triumph in itself, the fact that you stayed in that area because you believed in it so much. We call it around here kicking the dead horse, because there's a period of time that goes through any angler's mind where you've been in an area for so long that you're just like, I got to get out of here. What am I doing? But you had that funny feeling, man. You had that Sunday feeling right there.
Well, yeah, and believe it or not, I had fish. I had an equal amount of fish kind of up north in the lake, but the wind was so bad that I was scared that it dirtied that area up. I didn't want to, because it would have taken me 30, 35 minutes to run up there, and if I get there and it's muddy, I would have had to turn around and come back 35 minutes, so I've wasted an hour of my day. But every day, true to fashion, sometime between 12:30 and 2, I was going to get a big bite. So I kind of referred to it as kind of watching paint dry for the first, until noon. And it's tough to do, man. Every day at 12 o'clock, I had about 10 or 11 pounds. So I just, I'd catch 5 little rat bucks and then just wait. And then eventually I would get the right bites. I was pretty lucky when it came to that. And but I knew what was in there. I caught a 10-14 in there in practice. I caught one that weighed 8-9. This was before the Costa. So I knew what kind of fish were using that area. I just when all them bucks were in there, it gave me confidence that the females were going to follow pretty quick because it was on a warming trend. But you're right, man. The hardest thing in the world for me was to stay there and stay put until that magic hour.
And it happens. And you love it when a plan came together, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I did.
One of the craziest.
And the whole thing, that whole weigh-in was awesome, because I didn't know if I won or not. I knew what I had to, I figured I had 19 pounds. Because, when you're out there, you're just, you look at a fish real quick and you put it in the live well. You're not really, I don't weigh my fish. So
Right.
I figured I had 19 pounds, and it ended up being not quite 20, 19-14. But that 9-pounder at the end of the day was 1,000% the difference maker.
That'll make a huge difference in your mind. You're like, thank God I stayed here. Thank God. That was a big deal, man. That's a big deal, no doubt.
Yeah, because I missed one probably an hour before that was that big.
Oof.
Oh, that's a crusher.
Man.
That's a crusher right there. Hey, you talked a little bit about how you elected to fish fluorocarbon as opposed to the braid, and it's such a mixed school of thought on that. I heard Bobby Lane on the Bass University the other night talk about how it doesn't matter, and he uses braid. And by the way, for those of you watching out there, if you go to bassuniversity.com, there's an amazing promo, and I believe that the promo is Bass Lane, something like that.
Yeah.
Go check it out, bassuniversity.com. But anyway, you said you elected to fish fluorocarbon because you feel you get more bites. I mean, how is there so many different schools of thought on this?
Well, in Florida, in Okeechobee especially, or even Kissimmee and Toho, you get in areas that the water's pretty clean. You can see 2 or 3 feet down. You know, it might have a little stain to it, which is how I like it, but it's still clean. I'll put it to you like this: I can see braid in 3 foot of water, so I feel like the fish can. I'm not saying you can't catch a fish on braid. I just feel like I get more bites on fluorocarbon because it's virtually invisible. And if let's be honest, if I get 2 more bites than I would on braid, that's 2 more shots at a big fish.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So I look at it like, I'm confident in it. I even dropped down the 15-pound test, and I'm fishing around reeds, so that's kind of dangerous. But when you're fishing when they're bedding fish, typically they're going to run away from the reed patch. So I really didn't have any troubles other than the one I lost. That I fished clean all week, but I did lose that big one. But it wasn't because of my line. It got me wrapped under some stuff underwater that I didn't see. But I thought it broke me off, but it didn't. It just pulled loose. So I never broke off a fish and I retied quite often. I just I'm pretty careful with it. But you take even 20-pound I used 20-pound fluoro on the pure poison because I was throwing it around some heavier stuff. So I just feel like I get more bites on it, especially when you got a high pressure area. When you got, I don't know, 15 or 20 boats in there with me the first 2 days on a 30-acre area.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just felt like everybody was throwing braid, and I needed to one up them. I needed an advantage, and I feel like fluorocarbon gave it to me.
And I agree 100%. I mean, I'll even I flip with fluorocarbon over braid. Also, I use 25-pound, but I'll flip with the fluoro quite often. And I remember a derby. It was an FLW tournament. I think it was like in 2000 or 2001 on Lake Okeechobee, and Steve Daniels won it. Do you happen to remember that derby whatsoever? He was actually throwing,
I think I do.
He was throwing a husky jerk around some gnarly stuff, around some bulkheads and reed heads, and he was throwing the thing on 6 and 8-pound line.
Yeah, that's scary to me.
That was totally scary, is what I'm getting at. I mean, it was crazy, and if you remember that derby, Tim, when he would hook those big fish, he literally would play them forever. He stuck the entire rod. I remember him using a fiberglass rod and just keeping that fish down for just a scary, frightening amount of time, man. It was absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and it worked out for him. I mean, because he felt like he was going to get more bites, and obviously he did. But when I'm around the stuff he was around, I feel like 15 pounds pretty small for me. I would have went to 12, but 6 and 8, I would. God bless him. He did it, and I just can't find myself doing that. It's hard for me to do that even up north.
It's absolutely crazy. You talked a little bit about fishing pressure, and you said you had a lot of company over there. How do you keep that out of your mind? Because it bothers the hell out of me. I'm going to be honest with you. When there's a ton of people around you, how do you keep focused and keep that out of your mind?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I mean, it's always in the back of my mind, but I just feel like we're on a level playing field, and if I outfish each one of them, I'm going to do well. So as long as I do my job, and it doesn't always happen that way, but as long as I'm doing my job and I get the same number of bites, I got just as good a shot as anybody, and that's the way I look at it. One thing I did, they were all concentrating on, let's say, a 10-acre area up in the corner. It was more protected from the wind than the areas I was in. But I felt like they caught every buck in there. So without any bucks on the beds, no females were going to pull in. So I kind of ventured off on my own and went out in the middle of that bay. And every reed head I would go to, I would get a bite on. So it took me after day 2 to do that. But when I did, I wanted to keep it to myself. And it worked out for a little while, and I turned around and Scott Martin came up. He was the only one that came out there with me, but he gave me room. I can't say, he didn't crowd me, and
we shared them fish basically. Even on day 3, we shared them, but I was the one that got fortunate enough to get the big bites, and I feel like fluorocarbon had a lot to do with that.
Nice. The fluorocarbon factor again. Hey, if you have any questions for Tim, you can feed them to JP High, the hip hop fisherman, on the Facebook Live. And remember to share and like this post for a chance to win some custom balsa lures at the end of the broadcast from PH Custom. JP, we got any questions up there for Tim?
Yeah, we got a good one from Jacob.
Jacob.
On the Facebook. He wants to know, what are your thoughts about fishing the Harris chain next, and can you go back to back?
Ooh.
I've been asked that a few times already. I promise you. I'm like really looking forward to it. I really am. I've been keeping up with the chain. I live here. I know this chain of lakes better than anybody in this tournament. However, sometimes that can be a curse. But I've been staying up with them, and I feel like I know what's going on, and I know them little spots within spots, if you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
And if I got enough of those, I feel, can I go back to back? Why not me? I mean, I feel like I can.
Yeah, Mark Rose did it.
Yeah, Mark Rose did it last year.
Bring on another
Yeah.
check
Keep the
that
trend
says 100,000.
That's right.
Just add
Fatten it
a
up.
little local flavor
I'm not
to it.
saying I don't even want to say I'm gonna do it, but I feel like I can. Yes.
Certainly capable. Certainly capable.
We got another pretty good one from the
Mhm.
YouTube. TJ wants to know, what lake are you most confident on outside of Florida?
Oh, that's a good question. I was gonna say Seminole, but that's still in Florida a little bit. But I would say I'm pretty confident on Gunnersville as well. I like Gunnersville, and I also like Kentucky Lake. So I would say between Kentucky Lake and Gunnersville. Notice they're grass lakes, but
Yeah, there. Go figure. Go figure right there.
So going into the rest of the season, does this relax you, or are you just as hungry to get out there and try to win the next one? I mean, I feel like I'd be chilling a little bit after winning the first one.
Yeah. It takes a little bit of the pressure off, but honestly, I'm going to act like I didn't even win that money. People ask me what I'm going to do with that money. My answer is I want to add to it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to set up a retirement, so I'm still hungry. I still want more, and I'll do everything in my power to, I remember the feelings last year by missing the Forest Wood Cup in my second year by 7 ounces. I went from 140th in points my first year to 43rd last year, and I'm off to as good a start as I ever could imagine this year. So, and now I got, my home chain of lakes. So I feel like if I can top 20 here, I mean, obviously you want to win it, but I just don't want to do anything stupid to get me outside of the top 20. And I feel like I'll still have a good shot and stay high on the leaderboard. But I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it.
Do you feel like there is momentum tournament to tournament in bass fishing?
I do, and I think this week was a good example. I went at Okeechobee, and I literally had to leave. I filmed day 5 with Kyle Wood, and then I had to go to Kissimmee for the Open, and that's when Bobby Lane won. And I only had 6 pounds 14 ounces on day 1 because of a bad decision, but the second day I had the biggest bag of the day, and I vaulted from 120th up to 14th, just missing. I think it was 12 ounces I missed. The momentum carried me. I went down and fished Kissimmee the same way I was fishing Okeechobee, which I should have done on day 1. But sometimes hindsight's 20/20. But ultimately, I saved that tournament for me.
Nice.
Boom. The momentum factor. Yeah. It's there. Hey, I don't know if you heard about it or not, but this just happened today. In fact, Bill Taylor and I were at Red Lobster today having dinner, and Bill came up with a new rule. So he wants me to go over it with you. Are you ready for this?
Okay, I can't wait.
Yeah, we were at Red Lobster,
Yes,
and he got the Admiral platter. And I got the shrimp fiesta. It was pretty good.
Right.
I'm pretty stuffed. Those garlic biscuits were amazing. But in the midst of our feast of fools, Bill and I'll take credit for it. I came up with this. We came up with a new FLW rule, which will take effect on the Harris Chain Derby, and it's called 3 rods on deck, 1 in hand. So this means you're only allowed 4 rods in the boat, Tim. That's it for the Harris Chain. This is a true story I just made up. I hope you know this. 4 rods total.
I'm good with that.
Okay, now you have to pick those 4 rods and reels and the baits that will be tied on them. Tell me what those are, Tim.
Well, that's scary because there's probably people listening, but I'll go ahead and shoot you straight. I'm gonna have 2 different lipless crankbaits on it. I'm gonna have a Cinco or a Pure Poison on the other 2. You know, Cinco being the Ochos, and that's it. That's my 4. I can fish a tournament with those 4.
Boom! You can win a tournament with those 4. You can win a tournament with those 4, Tim.
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, honestly, it could happen. I use different style lipless crankbaits for different depths and different grass, you know. But I tell you what, you know, because the rod I'm gonna have my Ocho on, that can double as a sight fishing rod too. I can change the bait up and I'll be good. So between sight fishing and a little bit of reaction bites, I feel like that's how it's gonna be won. I feel like a lot of guys will go out the first day and they'll wear the sight fish out. You're not gonna win a tournament with sight fish, but you will lead it. So you got to have some backup. You got to have them reaction style fish that you can go out and throw reaction baits and catch. Pre-spawners.
There it is. Tim Frederick giving up the dirt right there. Yes, FLW Tour champion. You are a champion. Give me an internet high five. Internet high five right there. Yeah. Boom. That's how we do it on Stray Cast right there. Tim, do you have anything you want to say to your fans or sponsors before we get out of here?
Well, I gained a few fans after the last tournament, so I appreciate that very much. You know, the more the merrier. But all my sponsors, I want to shout out to them because I can't do this without them. And it starts with my title sponsor at Lake County Tourism. It's LakeBigBass.com. If y'all ever want to come to Florida and check out the amenities we have, go to LakeBigBass.com and fish the Harris Chain with us for a while. Power Pole, you know, I wouldn't have won that tournament without them. Mustad hooks, P-line, fluorocarbon and braid, Okuma reels, Enigma rods, Eagle Buick GMC out of Homosassa, and one of my other newest ones is Falcon Bass Boats. That's an amazing boat, and I'll give anybody a test ride if they want to come down, and you'll be hooked.
Andy does. Our producer, the Ginger Ninja, will be there after the Harris Chain event, and you got to give him a ride.
I absolutely will. You'll love it.
Tim, thank you so much for coming on this show. We appreciate the support, man, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity, guys. I had a lot of fun with you guys.
Awesome. We had fun with you too, man.
Go
Knock
get that
out.
back to back.
Yeah, back to back them right there. That's Tim Frederick, FLW Tour champion, first time ever on Stray Cast. Hey, keep it locked. Put the power poles down. When we come back, it's Brandon McMillan. He's coming to us from Clouston, Florida. Don't forget to share and like the live feed for a chance to win a $50 prize pack from PH Custom Lures. Kapow.
Taming the beast isn't easy, but the bigger your electronics, the more you have on the line. In conditions like this, you need the KVD Kong Extreme Electronics Mount. The only electronics mount designed and built to be rock solid. No movement, no matter how heavy your gear. A marine-grade mount for fresh or salt water that's monstrously strong. The KVD Kong Extreme Electronics Mount.
Regis Outdoors is quickly becoming the industry leader in tournament fishing apparel. There's no better way to represent your sponsors than with a Regis jersey. At Regis, you can get a short sleeve, long sleeve, sweatpants, the best prices in the industry. Regis also offers club and team discounts, special high school and college prices. Our website is easy to navigate, and Regis' staff will make the process quick and easy for you. Regis Outdoors, offering high-quality tournament apparel for the weekend angler. Outfit yourself from head to toe. Check out Regis online at www.regis.com.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Welcome back to Straycast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm Pat Renwick. The maniacy continues on this glorified version of a bass fishing talk show, and we are extremely stoked right now to welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen from Clewiston, Florida. Give it up for Brandon McMillan. Yes! Woo! What's up, B?
What's going on?
What's up, big Mac? Give me an internet high five. Let's start it off right.
Right there.
Boom, it's right there. It's right there. Okay, first off, let's just get this out of the way. All right? Well, getting it out of the way, the question everyone wants to know, why in the hell did you lend your boat to John Cox? What is wrong with you?
You know, he called. He's a good buddy of mine. He called me first thing this morning and said he broke down. I said, now, no problem. What do you need? You know, I was thinking I'll go tow him in, you know, stuff like that. No, he drives off with, not only with my boat, he takes my truck too.
That's
Takes the whole
Johnny.
package. Yes, everything I own pretty much is gone and in John Cox's hands. And that's, yeah, so it's, yeah, it was a little scary, you know. I called some of my buddies, had to get some moral support this morning, you know, and, but he did bring it back in one piece.
So it's
but
okay.
Today it's okay. There's one more day tomorrow, so you know we'll just keep our fingers crossed on it.
You gotta
be careful with the handyman.
Yeah, and make sure. Yeah, he's a handyman. You know.
Yeah, he likes handyman stuff.
Did you know that John's a handyman?
No, he's
Yeah.
many things, but I did not know that.
Well, you ask him. So when he did a bio, all right, when we had John on a couple weeks ago, it says, "What do you do when you're not fishing, John?" And he answered, "I like to do handyman stuff." the hell kind of answer is that, Brandon?
You got me, man. You got me. Listen, I love John. I've known him for years, but I still haven't quite figured him out yet.
He
likes to fish.
Yeah, he does like
That's
to
what he
fish.
likes to
But
do,
make
I
sure
think.
that he wipes all the Cox juice off your boat before you.
Yeah, I know. My whole garage out there just smells a little funny. I wasn't quite sure if it was because he hadn't showered in 2 days or if it was the Cox juice.
It could be a combo platter.
It could be a combo.
It's a combo platter right there. It's great to see you again, man. We haven't seen you since the Cup, dude.
Yeah. It's been a while. Thank you for having me on tonight. It's exciting.
Yeah, always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. You I don't know how to say this, but to us, you are privileged. Okay, not just for real, true story. Not because of the fact that you're a professional bass fisherman, but you live to what us Northerners refer to as the bass mecca of the United States. Okay, many people consider Texas that, but I mean, historically, the Sunshine State is the big bass capital of the United States. And it goes back, man. I mean, you think about it. Through the history of bass fishing, derbies start off in Florida. You know, the years kick off, the seasons usually kick off in Florida. People would travel for decades and decades to Florida to catch that 10-pound bass. It's I mean, dude, you're privileged to live in such a place. We got a snowstorm coming here.
I know, and it was about 83 degrees today was our
Oh.
high, and I'm not gonna lie to you boys. I just turned the air down to like 76 because it was getting a little cold in here. So I turned it up from like 74 to 76. So I definitely know that we're a little fortunate to live this far south.
I'm wearing 3 pairs of pants.
I
right
got
now.
6 layers on.
Man, I feel sorry for you guys. Some of my roommates live up there in north, and my buddy Gussie lives in Canada.
Oh
and it
yeah,
was like
Gus.
27 below this morning. He sent me a picture. It's
Oh,
just
You know
not
how
even
fast laundry
not
piles
even-
up when you're wearing 8 layers?
Yeah, it happens
Yeah,
quick.
no.
But what's nice is you don't have to always wash the top layer.
That's
just
true.
Just the bottom 3
That's
layers.
true. And
you have to
alternate
wash.
'em.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
You just rotate them out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll learn that on tour. You'll
That's
learn.
good, yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. That's good. That's good advice. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna take a few notes while I'm here.
Yeah, when Bree's not there to do your laundry, then you'll know. You'll learn the hard way.
That's right. Which is quite often nowadays.
You'll learn the hard way. Well, what's it like growing up in Clewiston on one of the best bass fishing lakes in the country, dude, in the world?
Man, I love it. I mean, I really don't want to live any other place. It makes traveling for tour events and stuff a little more tedious because I live so far south that it's about 6.5 hours just to get out of the state of Florida. But man, other than that, I mean, I don't really deer hunt. Like we live so far south that I pretty much fish 12 months of the year. During the summertime, I do a lot of saltwater fishing, and then in the fall, the lakes around the house here get red hot, and then they just go all the way until it just gets too warm in June and July, and I mean I love it, dude. Being a traveling guy, up and down the roads, it would make a lot more sense to live in that central Alabama area, but man, I really just can't get away from South Florida. And I live 3 blocks from the boat ramp here at Roland and Marianne's Marina, so it's hard for me to leave this place.
Yeah, I mean, and again, the bass capital of the world, Florida, and you grew up in a fishing family, man. Your dad was a hammer.
Sure.
I mean, no doubt about it. I remember when I lived in Boca Raton from like 1990 to 2000. He was a legend on the big lake, and tragically he left us too soon. And
Sure, yeah.
it's a tough thing. But my question to you is, do you? I mean, growing up in that fishing family, I mean, he taught you a lot, didn't he? He taught you a lot.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, he never really pushed for us to take up tournament fishing or whatever. I mean, we were just pretty much brought up fishing because from a young age, that's kind of all that I really wanted to do. On the weekends, I remember getting picked up from school on Friday afternoons, and he'd have the boat behind him, and we'd hit the lake, and we'd be there till Sunday afternoon. But he never really pushed for us to fish the tour or anything like that. That was just kind of our own choice, and as I got older and got more into the tournament scene, it kind of brought him a little bit further along to where he wanted to kind of do it and just pal around and stuff like that. And then he ended up having a pretty good successful career. It didn't last very long. Like you said, unfortunately he passed away way too soon. But really, I mean, his fishing career was probably about the end of it anyway. He was more wanting to just travel around with us, and help us practice, be there. You know what I mean? Just kind of be the shoulder to cry on when you finish 90th. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Be there to high five you when you make a top 5, top 10 or whatever. When you get a check at a place you've never been to, like that was really what his goal was. And it kind of makes it a little tough. A couple weeks ago, my brother and I, we finally fishing the tour together. And we made the top 10, and it was kind of bittersweet because we know that would have just been one of those, would have been a proud dad moment. You know what I mean? But
Absolutely.
unfortunately, it's part of life. You know what I mean? It
I
is
got
what
you.
it is. I'm sure everybody else has got a story, and if you haven't faced a tragedy like that, keep breathing. It's coming, unfortunately.
Right, it's part of life. You said it. Do you and your brother ever discuss? Do you ever feel like Dad's watching over you when you're on the Big O?
Oh, sure, sure, sure. There's no doubt on that. And it's good. You kind of feel when you're out there, you kind of feel close to him. You fish some of the same spots that you fished with him 25 years ago. You know what I mean? 10 years ago, stuff like that. And it's pretty it's pretty neat, pretty special. I mean, quick story. There was a little place we call the Shellcracker Hole, and I watched my brother fish it 3 or 4 times on the final day of the tour event a couple weeks ago, and he caught 2 of his best fish out of it. And that's
Nice.
a place that's one of the very first places I can remember ever going and catching a bass with my dad. 30 years ago.
And Jimmy was watching. He was
Oh
watching.
yeah, you knew you knew it was coming. You know what I mean, and you knew it was special because I fished it before he got there and didn't catch one, and then he rolls in behind me and catches one, and then does it again about 4 hours later. So, it's kind of like it was a little you better go do something different from the old man, but it was good, man. It's exciting. You kind of just take a step back when stuff like that happens. It's kind of special.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I had to pay homage, man, because again, your old man was a hammer there. No doubt about
Oh,
it.
we
Man.
appreciate it, man.
No problem, man. And an amazing derby that you just finished there, 5th place.
Yeah.
Not too bad. I mean, let's call this a brutal derby with an amazing finish. Is that fair enough?
That's pretty accurate. It was a grueling practice, and it was an even more of a grind during the days of the tournament. Just somehow just kind of all fell together, for us, and that was, just I don't know. It was a lot to do because we live here, we grew up here, and we were able to kind of make a few adjustments, but we had a lot of luck too. There's no doubt on that.
Yeah, a lot of luck, and then you're dodging tungsten weights. It's the viral video is the splash heard around the world.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. So what we want to hear from you is the firsthand account of, first off, dodging a tungsten weight or not dodging a tungsten weight, and then tell us the story of the dive, man.
It was definitely a action packed weekend for us, but yeah, I mean, Friday afternoon, the fish had just started biting really good, and I stopped to have a cold drink real quick, and my co-angler, was no fault of his own, got a bite, set the hook, missed it, just like everybody watching has done that. Just happened. My jaw just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. That was plain and simple. It got me. I ended up getting 5 stitches. It's all
my
good.
God.
I'll survive. I'll be fine. Chicks dig scars, so we're good.
Look at Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Has he got scars?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah,
See
die hard, man. You gotta love it.
Absolutely. So now, tell us about the dive, dude. That was outstanding. Unbelievable what you did there. And I know you weren't thinking. That just happened. I mean, that was all just momentum and adrenaline and maybe Red Bull. I don't know. I don't know. What was it? Tell us about the dive, dude.
Well, I definitely get all hopped up on Mountain Dew during the course of those days.
Sure.
I mean, I try to go.
You and Alex Davis.
Yes. Me and the spinnerbait kid, we are definitely do the do's, man. But I mean, really, wind was blowing so hard that day. I mean, I didn't even know that I had the bite, to be honest with you. I flipped it in. She ate it on the way down. Never even felt her. Picked up. She had it. When I set the hook, I mean, I thought I had a good hook into her. And she was coming. I mean, a lot of the Okeechobee big fish, when you get them pinned to like underneath the side of the mats and stuff like that, if they got grass around their face and stuff, they feel secure. Their whole head could be out of the water, but they feel real secure and stuff. Anyway, this one didn't work like that. She come out like a rocket. She was coming, and I was winding that metanium reel as fast as I could, and then get ready to boat flip her, and she pops off. But she lays right on top of the hyacinth mat there. Just, I mean, belly up. I mean, white. You could see her. And I mean, the boat was going to her, and I reached to grab her, and I was about 6 inches too short, and I lunged again. And when I did that, I was in the water.
Splash.
Splash. But yeah, I mean, my buddies make fun of me. They said, man, some of them say, it was really, how'd you have enough, self-awareness to hang on to the boat? And my one buddy Carmen said it best. I wasn't thinking about making it a legal catch or whatever. I was thinking about not drowning. And
Yeah.
as long as I held on to the boat, I was good.
You don't be chucking up no muck.
Exactly.
I've been around those mats. That's some nasty shit right there.
It is. I can tell you one thing, boys. At the end of the day, you debate on whether you should flip green pumpkin or whether it should be a beaver style bait or a crawdad or a smaller profile. Listen, boys, it's dark underneath that hyacinth mat. I know it. I've been in one before, and it is dark. It don't matter what color you flip or what bait it is. If there's one, it's going to eat it or it's not, because it is pitch black dark.
First-hand experience.
Yes, first-hand experience.
Is that the first time you've ever grabbed a fish with your hand and thrown them in the boat?
110%, and will probably be the last time too. I mean,
it's insane. I mean, in all the years I've watched it, I've only seen one other guy do it, and he didn't do that. He grabbed the line.
Micanelli.
Micanelli.
Yes, he did that.
Yeah, he snatched the line and grabbed the fish. But you didn't even have the line; just snatch the fish.
Just
grab him by the head?
Don't know how I came up with it. I kind of have a little bit of a recollection, but it's kind of like being in a car accident. You just wake up and thank goodness you're alive. And I was just glad that I got back in the boat.
Something happened. Not sure what it was, but
I remember I was upside down at one point.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's maniacy. Hey, I am sure that you are definitely glad, and you are glad that you did not go after your flip flop, right?
Yes. And you know what, dude? Clear the record straight that my flip-flop was recovered about 48 hours after the incident. So we are back. I am paired up again. I'm happy. They're lucky flip-flops. We're good. I got the rods back. We're all set. But yeah, it was just a neat experience. I mean, and I'm not a big GoPro guy. I usually tell the boys at FLW, I think it's bad luck. It's the curse of death when they put one on you. But man, I'm sure glad I had one there, because I couldn't tell the story well enough to it would just be unbelievable,
I believe you. Yeah.
Like one of those other fishing wise tale stories that it probably never ever happened, but this really did.
Well, the GoPro seems to work pretty good for the Brandon on the Elite Series for Brandon Palaniuk, so maybe that's like your new deal.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, it's hey, we're always looking for new sponsors, right?
We're calling that dancing with who brung you, Brandon.
That's right. I agree.
That's what it is right there. Hey, do you get along with the Martins, like with Roland and Scott?
Sure. Scott lives about 3 or 4 houses down from me. Roland was always kind of, traveling around when I was younger. I never really got a chance to really, spend much time with Roland. But the last probably 3 or 4 years, he's been around. We fish a lot of the same, local team tournaments and stuff, and it's really kind of a pleasure and neat to sit there and sit at the tiki bar and have a beer with him and
Sure.
just talk about bass fishing from back in the day and stuff. And it's cool. I really do get along well with the Martins. With, like I said, Scott lived just a couple houses down, so. But yeah, no, it's good stuff. It's not a bad fishing family to have. In the same block.
Yeah, Clouston royalty right there. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Have you ever read Roland's book, 101 Bass Fishing Secrets?
I've read a few. few, not many of it, not much of it, I should say.
Not all 101. You didn't.
No, not all 101.
But maybe like 14 of them.
I'd say, yeah, give
Okay.
it ballpark figure, yeah.
The first book that I ever read on bass fishing is Roland Martin's 101 Bass Fishing Secrets. And recently I just got it back. My buddy that lives out there near Clewiston, he was a buddy of mine from the Everglades Bassmasters when I lived out there, and he saw the show and he said, "Hey, I got your book, man," and sent me the book back. It was outstanding. The book's about 38 years old. Okay, not dating myself, but the fact of the matter is, there's some epic Lake Okeechobee stories in that
I'm
book,
sure.
man. So I mean, I think that you just need to snuggle up on a cold winter night with Bree and have her read you some Roland Martin 101 Bass Fishing Secrets.
I'm down with that. Babe, are you listening to that?
Yeah, some hot cocoa. Have her make you some hot cocoa. Some Clewiston cocoa.
That's right.
Hey, you want to talk about mat fishing?
Sure.
All right, I want to show you something I have here. Speaking of going back in the songbook, I have here the bait that was most productive for me on Lake Okeechobee, and I'm going back to like 1998, 1999, and it's an old Gambler Crawdaddy. Okay, and I don't think you can see this through the Skype.
Oh,
but
yeah, I can see it.
Okay, and what is remarkable, the Gambler Crawdaddy is about a 4-inch bait, and it's still a great flipping bait to this day. But what's remarkable, and thank God you didn't get hit with this when your co-angler knocked you.
I think that's a round.
This is the original Gambler screw-in flipping weight in 1 ounce. And this thing is about half the size of this bait right here.
Yeah. That's the 3-inch.
That's a 3-inch weight. It's nuts. Isn't it amazing how components for flipping mats have evolved, even since when you were a kid, dude?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I remember I was probably 18 or 19. I was living in Gainesville, Florida at the time. And they had a guy by the name of Sam Adversa had just come out with the tungsten like penetrator weights.
Yeah,
those were the first ones that I could remember or recall. And he lived about 30 minutes from Gainesville, so I drove up to his house one time, and I actually met him in the back alley of a Sonny's barbecue.
No, it sounds shady, dude. Very shady.
It was. I gave him like $200 cash, and he gave me a giant box of tungsten weights, and it looked like a backwoods drug deal there. And then I drove him home and met with my dad, and gave it to him because I was a freshman in school, and I didn't have $200. If I did, I wouldn't be going home. I'd be at the bar, still. But yeah, those were the first tungsten weights that we ever really saw.
The penetrators, yep.
Penetrators, and they've just evolved so much just since then till now. And it's really changed the game, how you can shrink something that big. And I remember for years my dad used to fish with just a lead 1.5 ounces. And dude, that thing was
so big.
It was about the size of that lobster you were holding.
It's like a ping pong ball.
We call it the lobster down here.
The old lobster.
The old Gambler Crawdaddy, we call it the lobster. But yeah, and it's neat, and in the last couple of years, I've been fortunate enough to have a good tungsten sponsor as my title sponsor in Flat Out, and man, they're unique in their self, where the paint just does not chip. It's like chemically dyed and stuff. And I used to spend hours and hours in my garage with black fingernail polish, painting tungsten weights, and putting acrylic over them and blow drying them with a hair dryer. I mean, I used to spend an hour or more on one weight to get ready for a tournament on Okeechobee. And man, I'm so happy that I don't have to do that anymore.
Right.
But it's just neat how everything kind of changes and evolves, and you got to kind of stay up on this kind of stuff. If not, it'll pass you by, and you'll wind up, not really understanding how it all goes down.
And it's become a science. Mat flipping has become a science because going back to the days of, you were talking about the old lead, but I mean, even the tackle has evolved. The school of thought used to be on flipping on Okeechobee that you basically were taking a pool cue and putting line through it, put some guides on it. And going back to that Roland Martin book, he was actually originally flipping on Okeechobee. Now, this is crazy. He was flipping on Okeechobee with an Ambassador 7000 size reel, Dacron line,
It's like a trailer winch.
and a saltwater rod. That's knuckin' futz. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. It is. I mean, braided line has kind of changed the game as far as flipping goes too. But yeah, it's different, man. It's different. I mean, for instance, one of the original owners, a gambler, a guy by the name of Russ Bringer.
Sure, I know Russ. Yeah.
Russ kind of pioneered the whole flipping thing, and I know there was a few, and this is before my time, so I don't want to mix up the facts here, but I do know that Russ was one of the best flippers to bring the stuff to Lake Okeechobee,
Hands down.
and he solely flipped with a spinning rod and reel combo because he felt like it delivered the best presentation. But that was back old school flipping when you got the line in your in your hand and stuff like that. And it's just neat, and to see that kind of evolve into what we have now.
Sure, and I remember, but not to disagree with you, but I know Russ and Mike Sermon, when Russ started flipping with the casting tackle, he was I can't say one of the first guys, but he was one of the few guys on Lake Okeechobee that actually started to flip with the parabolic rods.
Yeah,
he had that Lama glass rod. I don't remember if you remember the Russ Bringer Lama glass parabolic flipping stick.
Really?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was one of the original guys on Okeechobee to go away from that pool cue, like Steve Daniels. Steve Daniels had a flip stick, another Clouston boy, and that thing was a straight up pool cue. I mean, you could you could beat him off with that thing, man. It was crazy.
It's a biffle stick.
It's definitely a biffle stick.
Biffle stick. It's neat to see the stuff changing, and that's another thing why I love about living down here. It's like if I move to Smith Lake in Alabama, I'm not going to know how to throw a drop shot, and it's going to take me years to figure out the ins and outs if I ever do. But man, I've got a lot of really good guys that used. Unfortunately, Russ is another one that's no longer with us, but.
Right.
He pretty much fished a lot with Sermon. I've talked to Sermon, every now and again when I've got questions, especially about flipping and stuff. And the guys that Sermon has kind of, what I mean, palled around with. Like we all kind of run in the same circle down here, and it's it kind of gets you brought up to speed a little quicker and stuff like that. It's a neat deal, man. I really do love mat flipping. I mean, I love flipping in general, but I really do like, flipping heavy mats with a big weight. I mean, that's kind of my thing. That's kind of what has kind of gotten my fishing career started. But, I tell you one thing, when you fish on the tour as much as I have the last couple of years and you put that big rod down, man, when you pick it up for 4 straight days in a tour, man, my left arm still hurts.
Still aching.
So
Still
I'm
aching.
definitely out of fishing shape where that thing goes.
Hey, we'll get back to more mat flipping, but if you want to call in and talk to Brandon McMillan, you can do that right now. Here's your opportunity. You can ask him anything. He's wide open to any question.
That's what this segment's called.
It's
him
called
anything.
Ask Brandon McMillan Anything segment. Yes. Call up right now, 520-214-BASS. That's 520-214-2277. We're taking calls for Brandon now. Matt Flippin' McMillan. That's him. Flippin' McMillan.
I think we got one.
Do we got a fish on the line? Boom. There it is. Kapow kabang. Welcome to Stray Casts. You are the fish on the line. Who's calling?
This is Matt.
What's up, Matt? How you doing? We're talking about mats right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
What's going on? You want to talk to Brandon?
I wanted to say something to Brandon. We actually connected through through Facebook, and he helped me with the loss with my grandfather, who I lost back in September, who was my fishing partner. And I just wanted to personally call him and thank him for that, and for helping me get over that hump of picking up the rod and reel again and start fishing, because I'd really kind of lost the desire there right after he passed to start fishing again. But Brandon sent me a kind message and encouraged me to get back out there and start fishing.
Awesome.
Well, I sure appreciate that, Matt, and I'm glad to see that you're back out there after it. And honestly, that's just kind of the best therapy, is to get out there and sometimes just get out there on your own and just kind of just think about life, I guess. You know what I mean? I'm no wise man. I'm just a dumb old country boy, but I definitely know that it's definitely helped me out. And I've dealt with the loss of my dad, and that it's tough, but unfortunately, like I said before, it's just kind of part of life, and it sucks, and there's nothing really you can do about it. But definitely fishing's kind of helped me not go crazy, I'd say.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I appreciated it a whole lot. It meant a lot to me. It got me reconnected to my passion, and like you was talking earlier about your dad being out there with you when you're out on Okeechobee. There's definitely times where I can feel like he's just like right there with me, and it's those moments that I cherish now probably more than I did when he was there fishing with me when he was still alive. So
sure, absolutely, I do the same, man. So the best way we can honor him is just keep catching them, and that's kind of our philosophy around the McMillan household. I mean, it's tough, I mean, since my old man's passed away, I've done a decent amount of had some decent amount of success here in the fishing world, and going to the Classics was icing on the cake, and not to have him there, and it sucks, man. I mean, there's no other word you can say. I mean, it pretty well sucks. But the best thing you can do is just keep out there and keep catching them, man. That's the best way to honor them.
Awesome. That's great.
yeah, no doubt. And this house will always be pulling for any McMillan, you and your brother this year. So keep up the good work, and we're pulling for you down there at the Harris Chain.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We're gonna need it up there against old Timmy.
Thanks for calling, Matt. We appreciate it. That was an amazing call, dude. Thank you. The phone lines are open. 520-214-2277. 520-214-B.A.S.S. if you want to talk to Brandon flippin' McMillan right now. We got another fish on the line. Welcome to Stray Cast. How are you? Hello. Welcome to Stray Cast.
It's Eric Galasso. Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up, Derek?
Good.
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Hey, I got a question for Brandon.
Brandon who?
McMillan.
Oh, Brandon McMillan. Oh, yeah, I forgot he was here.
That's
Oh,
me.
I thought he was calling to talk to me, you guys told me. What the hell is going on? Yeah, go ahead, Derek. Talk to Brandon. Fine, be that way.
Hey, Brandon, I'm a river rat from the Potomac, Maryland, man, and, flip tidal water, and wanted to hear your thoughts on the difference between, flipping Okeechobee and lakes and the tidal river situation.
The only time I've ever been up there to the Potomac was last year. I forget when we were there, sometime in June. And talking with some of the other Florida guys that have done well up there, it seems it seemed to me, and I didn't really catch him flipping. I really couldn't figure it out, to be honest with you. I caught them all throwing a stupid Cinco in one 10-foot spot, and it was pretty painful. But truthfully, like, to me, it would seem like up there when at low tide would be better. And this is just my general opinion. Just because the grass would be matted up more, and it would kind of like what I saw up there, and I don't know. Again, I don't really have a lot of experience there, but from what I saw was there was matted up milfoil clumps during low tide, and they were just like isolated, maybe the size of a basketball, maybe the size of the deck of your boat. And it just seemed like that if there was going to be a bass anywhere around there, like that's where they would congregate at low tide. And it would be thicker, and you could kind of ease up on them and get to them a little easier. Instead of the water being high, and they could be from, say, the bank all the way out to the edge of the grass line. As the water would be lower, it would kind of push them to the thickest stuff that they could be around. Instead of just in all that sparse stuff, they would come and there may be only 5 or 6 good clusters of, say, milfoil that were there, but you should be able to get 2 or 3 bites out of each one. That was what I had assumed that I was gonna succeed at when I got there, and then I was sorely wrong. So that's what I did, and I couldn't catch him flipping. So maybe do the complete opposite of that, and you don't have to throw a Cinco like I did.
So
I'm totally taking notes, man. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Do like Brandon and do the opposite of whatever you're thinking.
Yes. But
yes.
to me, that would make the most sense at low tide. That you've got less grass in the water, and it's definitely got more of a thicker canopy over it, so it would provide more shade, more security for them, because that's really what they like. It's more of just like a security blanket, is kind of what they use it for, especially down here. A lot of boat pressure and stuff like that drives those fish in there, because they can't spawn underneath it. They can't, you know what I mean? It's only a 10 by 10 section on a good mat, so there's not a lot of abundant forage that's just going to be around it 24/7. Right. I mean, it's just they just use that as kind of a comfort zone.
They're nursing their hangovers under the mats is what they're doing. That's where they're doing. Derek, thank you so much for calling, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks.
There it is. Wisdom from Brandon McMillan right here on the show. We are still taking calls. 520-214-2277, 520-214-BASS, if you want to talk to Brandon McMillan in Clewiston, Florida right now. That is the deal right there. Callers on. Boom. You're loading them up, dude.
Lighting them up.
Lighting it up. Rapid fire. We got a fish on the line. Welcome to Stray Cast. Who's calling? Hello.
Yeah. This is Mike calling. I had a question for Brandon, being that he's fished his whole life in Florida.
Yeah.
Fire away.
Question is, I fish a lot of ponds with my friends and stuff like that. If you're ever on shore, like what is the situation with fishing with alligators and stuff like that?
Kick them.
Yeah. I typically listen. I've fished my whole life in South Florida, and I've never, come close to being attacked by an alligator. I've also never fallen in and grabbed a 5-pounder either and slung it in the boat. So
anything's possible.
Can happen. Typically, I'm more scared of snakes as I walk around, ponds and stuff like that. I still do it quite a bit. I did it during our off week that we have where we can't be on the lake out here. I loaded up the truck and just drove around to some canals and some farm ponds and stuff like that during our off limit week for Okeechobee. But I don't think you really have to worry with them. I mean, as long as you don't bother them, they're more scared of you than we should be of them, to be honest with you. That being said, I really wouldn't go swimming around in there either. But as long as you stay about, as long as you stay a few feet back, you'll be all right, I think.
And don't wear a steak necklace.
Don't wear a steak necklace.
No steak wallet either.
The only experience that I ever had that was close with alligators in Florida is during mating season. What
about the alligators?
Yeah, mating season.
Oh, for the alligators.
For the alligators,
okay.
yes, not for me.
I got that.
Yes. But the deal with it was, I mean, as Brandon said, normally they're scared of you. We're bigger than most of them, but when it's mating season and they got eggs they're protecting or baby gators. Where's the baby gators? Don't we have baby gators
we got
here?
A baby gator.
We have live baby gators here. Did you know that, Brandon?
No.
Did you know that,
I'm in-
Mike? We have
now.
live baby gators somewhere. Where are
No, I didn't know that.
Where's our live baby gators? Oh, there they are.
They're there.
You hear them?
Oh,
Yeah.
got him.
Those are live baby gators. So don't go around gators when you're mating, Mike. Okay? Whatever you do. That's the tip of the week right there.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, thank you very much, man.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Hey, we have time for one more call. 520-214-2277. We have a fish on the line. Welcome to Stray Cast. How are you? Hello?
I'm doing good. I got a question for Brandon McMillan.
Brandon McMillan. Yeah, I know him.
Why
Yes,
does he
sir.
always get my money every time we go to Okeechobee?
Whoa.
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear.
Oh, I know who this is. I recognize that voice right there. Ask him again. See if Brandon knows who's calling him here.
Every time since I've moved to Florida and I go to Okeechobee, the McMillans always get my money. I'm just curious.
Is this the
Is
Dorcher?
this a gas station?
Is this
Dorcher.
speaking to Dorch right here?
Yeah, actually it is. Congrats to Brandon and his brother Jared on a good finish, but I actually have a legit question.
Oh, wow. Okay. I like illegitimate questions better from you, Bradley. I'll be honest.
When
Fire
all of
away,
the Florida
buddy.
guys say the big fish just pulled up, did the fish actually come out of the lake? Or were they sitting there the whole entire time?
So, did you catch that?
Man, this is what I think that they do. I think that whenever it gets to whatever that they want to do, and Florida bass, the Okeechobee bass are the most unpredictable ones that you can find, in my opinion. I mean, they're easy to catch when they're coming in and when they're in, but in my opinion, what they do is they just roam out in the middle of Lake Okeechobee, and in the mud, and you can't catch them. I mean, I've tried. If I knew how to catch them in the dirty water on Okeechobee, I wouldn't have to fish the tour. I could just quit my job and I could, win everything on Okeechobee down here.
Nice.
And I wouldn't have to go fish the tour and get my butt beat. That Tuesday afternoon, they just showed up. I don't think they weren't there. They weren't just lingering around and then just decided not to bite. You see like when they come in, like they did like late Tuesday night and Wednesday. I mean, it's like a herd of bikers coming in off the main lake. And I mean, they're not terribly tough to catch, because you see what them boys do when they get around them. They light them up. I mean, wherever they pull in at, they usually get caught. But yeah, I think they just meander around out in the open lake, and they come in whenever they want to, as far as when it's time to spawn, whatever type of forage they want to eat, from bluegill in the late springtime to shad in the summer to crawfish, and whenever they eat crawfish. But it stuff like that. But yeah, when they come, they come hard, and they're unpredictable, because they really shouldn't have done what they did, and it was kind of caught my brother and I off guard. It was, the water temp was still too cold, in our opinion, for them to really make a good hard push to the hill. But it shows what we know. They got a mind of their
We don't
own.
know what those bass do. Hey,
No.
Brandon, Bradley, do you know what just happened here? Do you guys know?
No.
This is the magic of a bass fishing talk show right here, because what Brandon just did there was give one of his competitors an edge. You just get see. Do you see what Bradley did to you there, Brandon? He Jedi mind tricked you into getting
Yes,
information.
but-
Right.
But I'm fixing
That's like
to do the reverse.
I just pulled like
I'm
an
gonna
MMA ninja on him.
See, I'm gonna ask Bradley now, because we're going to the Harris chain.
There you go.
And there's a certain fellow on here that won the Harris chain last year, and it wasn't me. So I want to know exactly what color speed worm, what size line, and did you throw a weight or no weight? And how fast did you reel it? And what speed retrieve on the reel?
Love it. Love it.
And the hook set.
Actually, it is a 6-4-1 Abu ALX.
Bam.
20-pound, 100% fluorocarbon. That's all I throw is the fluoro. 3/16 Picasso tungsten weight. And you don't need but 3 color speed worms in Florida. Well, I say Florida. Let's exit Okeechobee out there because I'm not very good there. But Junebug red,
Boom.
Junebug, and watermelon red. That's the only 3 you need.
Gotcha.
Right there.
Well,
Bradley Dortch giving it up. Hey, let's pretend that you have a talk show now, Brandon. Just keep asking Bradley questions, and he's the guest.
Well, yeah, we'll just bypass you
No,
guys.
I wanted to ask Brandon because me and him run across each other in practice a couple of times. You know, and I felt like that I practiced some really good areas. You know, and I was getting 15, 20 bites in the area, but everything seemed to be small. So that's I was curious. I mean, did those fish just swim and then all of a sudden they decide to pull up? Because
he already asked.
I mean, you can get bites, but you're not getting big bites, and then all of a sudden you'll show up and they're all big. So
the males
that's
come
what
in
makes
first,
Okeechobee
it seems
tough
like.
to me.
Yeah, I mean,
there it is. Hey, you guys should text each other after this show.
you know what? Let me just remind everybody here. Bradley caught a bigger bag day 1 of the tournament than I think either one of the McMillan boys did out of all 4 days. So we should be asking you how to catch 20 pounds.
He's speaking to Dortch. That's what we call that right there.
Yes, the hard truth, Bradley.
Speaking de Dortch.
No, hey, Brandon, who do you
help when you run out of gas?
Brandon, who do you think's going to win on the Harris chain?
Man,
I think Tim Frederick is on fire right now. He stands a very, very good chance of doing a double up on us. But you can't count the McMillans out. You can't. I'm not counting myself out either now.
That's
Just
the
hang
answer
on.
we're looking for. Now hang up on Bradley. Dump his call. Bradley, thank you, man. We appreciate you calling, dude. Good luck out there.
See y'all.
Take care.
Congrats to Tim and the McMillans.
There it is right there. Man. Bradley Dortch, man. He's always a fun guest on this show.
What a lovable guy.
I know. I got to call him back. We need to get him back on here. That's for sure. There's no doubt about it. That was amazing. You guys had, your own little talk show going on. I liked it.
Maybe we'll have a segment called Pros on Pros.
Brian Schmidt did that to us, too. Yeah.
He did. Yeah. James Watson likes to call sometimes, too.
Yeah.
We'll just keep name dropping.
No
Tom
doubt
Hanks
about it.
called last week.
Tom Hanks did. And Fonzie, Arthur Fonzarelli. He fished.
And Lou
too.
Diamond Phillips.
So does Michael Keaton.
Not to be confused with Blue
fishes.
Diamond LEDs.
Lefty Cray, he calls. Yes, he calls us too. Okay, back to the show, folks. And now we're back. Hey, while we're having fun, let's play a game show. You want to do that?
Sure. Sounds good, man.
Have you ever been on a game show before?
I have not. No.
This is epic. The first time. Gather the family around.
All right.
So you have a choice to play What's on Your Mind or the B.A.S.S match game. What would you rather play, Brandon?
How about What's on Your Mind?
Like it. I like his style right there. So right now it is time for a little What's on Your Mind with the one and only Brandon McMillan, FLW Tour Pro, and a hell of a diver. Right here. Brandon, I'm going to ask you a question, and you tell me the first thing that pops in that bass fishing brain of yours. It's called What's on Your Mind. The first thing to you is tunnel vision. Tunnel vision.
Being a flipper.
Being a flipper. Amazing answer. Thank you. We're mind melding right now. Good answer. Good answer. Yellow flowers. Yellow flowers.
Kentucky Lake.
Kentucky Lake. He's batting 1,000. He's batting 1,000 right now. Grass goblins. Grass goblins.
Grass goblins. Oh. You got me on that one. What is a grass goblin?
I asked you.
What do you see?
What's on your mind? Grass goblin.
Yeah, I got nothing, boys. I don't know. You stumped me on this one.
Ask Bree. Is she there? Is Bree around?
Yes, she's chiming in.
To ask her what a grass goblin is.
Grass goblin, honey.
I mean, I'm thinking of a troll. I don't know.
A troll is the correct answer. Yes.
Oh.
She nailed it. In
Team
fact,
Big Mac.
we
right
just
here.
want to interview Bree the rest of the night. You're done.
I know.
You're done.
know.
Okay, the next one is Jughead. Jughead.
Jughead. Jeff Sprague.
Jeff Sprague or James Watson. Either one.
Or James Watson.
Yes, either one qualifies there. We're going to need a bigger boat. We're going to need a bigger boat.
Oh, that would be us. That's us. You know,
the McMillan family.
We are having a baby Mac in the summer, so that was our Facebook post. We are gonna need a bigger boat.
Nice. There it is, right there. Or Jaws, either one.
Or Jaws.
Yeah, or
I love
Jaws.
which is by far my favorite movie.
That's amazing. When we had Greg Hackney on here, his dream is to go flipping for great white sharks.
With Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah,
I want in.
With the next word is bass wax.
Bass wax.
Bass wax.
Cox juice.
Cox juice. Cox juice. Bass wax. Hand in hand. Get it? Right there.
I like that.
Boom. Pow. Coming on hard.
Cox
right
juice
there.
is really taking over our show.
Amazing. This is a family show.
Yeah.
The last word. Triple Lindy. Triple Lindy.
Triple Lindy. The Olympics?
No, that is the dive that you took off of your boat onto Lake Okeechobee. But you know what? You lost anyway, and Bree wins. Congratulations, Bree McMillan. You are the winner on Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. Yes. That's how we do it right there. That's how we do it. Boom. Man, we had a hell of a time with you.
Oh, man, I loved it. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, we enjoyed it more than you did.
I think Bradley enjoyed it a little more than everybody.
He was all hopped up on fun.
That's okay. And please, I need to ask you a favor, okay?
Anything, buddy.
Please ask John Cox when he comes to get the boat tomorrow, what in the hell is handyman stuff?
Yes, I will.
Ask, or if you don't, Bree, please ask him. I know you can hear me. Say, John, what the hell is handyman stuff?
Tune in to Facebook. We'll do Facebook Live at 6:15 in the morning to find out what handyman stuff is.
Yes, Stray Cast wants to know what the hell is handyman stuff. Say it just like that.
It's kind of entertaining, which everything with him is entertaining.
That's a true story. That's Johnny Smiley. He's always smiling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy guy.
Did you ever get to stick any fish in his backyard?
No, I've not been invited over. He uses my boat. He uses my truck. I think he used my rods today. I don't get the chance to hang out with him.
He invites us over, and he doesn't invite you over?
No, and I thought we were boys, but apparently not.
Something wrong there. Something wrong there.
We never go, but he invites us.
Well, you guys should go, and then you could bring me as your third wheel guest, and then I'll just show up, and he has to let me in.
Absolutely, we'll be there when you.
We live close.
We'll be there when you least expect it.
Yeah.
Well, you can come down now. You can wear one layer.
That's true.
Instead of 12.
That would be amazing.
That's true. I'd have to shed on the airplane.
Well, you got a derby coming up soon, so we'll come catch up with you, and we'll go out there fishing on the Big O, man.
Gotcha.
Like the good old days. Hey, anything you want to say to your fans or your sponsors before we get the hell out of here?
Man, no, I just thanks for supporting me. Thanks for tuning in. This has been fun, and I look forward to doing it again.
Boom, right there, Brandon McMillan. Dude, we're gonna see good things from you. I mean that sincerely. Yeah. I mean,
I hope so.
Yeah, dude. I could tell. I have ESPN. I know.
ESPN.
I know these things. I could tell. Ladies and gentlemen, one final round of applause from our studio audience for Brandon McMillan. Right there. That is the deal, dude. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you on again soon. And we'll see you at the Cup again this year.
Yes, we have a date at Ouachita. Same table, boys.
Nice. We're going to do it. And eat the asparagus. And then your granddad's going to tell us all kinds of stories about little Brandon again.
Yeah.
Yes.
I loved it. That was the highlight of my trip. I ain't going to lie. That was awesome. Brandon McMillan right there. Thanks again, man.
Thank you, guys.
Take care. Awesome, man. Right there, Brandon McMillan. Hey, so now it is time for the for the giveaway.
Yes.
So that's 2 PH custom crankbaits. It's a $50 value. And
Yes,
all
sir.
you had to do, it was so easy. We're giving you $50 for nothing.
I think you have to click 3 times.
Smash it.
Smash it.
You smash the share,
Smash.
the live feed, and boom. So have you calculated someone?
It's a triple
High?
smash.
Because I kind of put you on the spot there. You didn't even know the show was ending. I just kind of did this.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, JP High is now tallying up. Do we have tally music, Ginger?
Come, Mr. Tally Man.
That's tally your bananas. Yes, that's tally music. What's up, Doc? Boom, right there. Aaron Martins is going to win.
Beep,
Aaron Martins is going to win.
No.
Yes.
At default.
Ot Defo. You know why his name is Ot? Do you know why his nickname is Ot?
No.
He won't tell anybody.
Is that right?
I know what Skeet Reese's real name is.
Oh, we tried to get that out of him.
I
didn't
can't
we?
tell anyone what Skeet Reese's real name is. All
His
right?
real name?
Yeah, or I'll be.
I think it's Steve.
It's not Steve. I'll wake up with a
Steve
horse
Reese.
head in my bed. And
You
people
really do know?
People in New Jersey will kill me if I.
It's not Skeeter.
It's not. If I say Skeet Reese's
Skeetman?
real name, people in New Jersey will actually put out a hit on me.
Skeetish.
It's a true story that I just made up, but it's really true. That is the deal. JP High, flag me down when you are ready with the big winner of the giveaway, share, post, like, straight cast live feed contest for 2 PH custom lures right here, right there. Now.
It's going to be Rob Santos.
Rob
Correct?
Santos, you are the winner. Hell yeah. That's how you like and share posts. Rob Santos knows. I'm internet high-fiving you right now, Rob Santos. You're amazing. And you won 2 PH things. So if you message Straightcast, PM us, premenstrual us on Facebook, and we will send you your prize pack. Rob Santos right there. Hey, to all of you that tuned in tonight, to all of you that shared the posts, we appreciate it. We are off next week for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're all going for dinner. Right?
Yeah, to Red Lobster.
Yes.
With Bill Taylor and Trip Weldon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are Valentine's dates. So we will be back on the 21st with an amazing show, and I am not going to let the cat out of the bag what's going on now, but we'll be back February 21st. And again, to all of our sponsors, thank you so much for the support that you give this show, as well as the most important element of this show, you viewers out there. And don't forget that this show will be available immediately, or in a little bit, on iTunes.
Yeah. Huge thanks to everyone that shared the event tonight, too.
Yeah, it's a big
Really
deal. We're going to
appreciate it.
do a giveaway every week like this.
Yes.
Every week we're going to give
There'll
away
be some
something.
really awesome jigs coming next week.
Till we got
Not
nothing
mine.
to give away. Yeah, until we got nothing to give away. Don't let the cat out of the bag.
There's just going to be some jigs.
Okay.
Not telling what kind.
But now they know.
They're not mine.
Now they know jigs. Hey, I'm Pat Renwick.
it'll be
This is
good.
Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. He's letting the stray cast out of the bag. This
it could be something
over
else.
here, this guy you can't see off camera is our iTunes guy. That's Larry the K Kyleman. JP High, Andrew Ellenberger. We will catch you on February 21st. Bass Galaxy, we love you. Thank you. Peace. We are out.